Hi, welcome to Charlotte's Cooking Show. I'm Charlotte. Today I'm making a family favorite. It's called Baked Ziti. I found this recipe from this Instagram account that I follow by the name of Lauren's Latest. She has great family recipes. You should follow her too. Today we're making it in my favorite kitchen appliance, the Instant Pot. Lots of you probably have one, but you're nervous to use it. I'm going to show you how to make this fantastic recipe using this really great kitchen appliance. Whenever I make baked ziti, I always think of our friend Dan. He was supposed to stay with us for a night or two, and he ended up living with us for 4 months back in 2017 or so. Anyway, this is Dan's favorite dinner. He loves it, so whenever we make it, we always think about Dan. All right, to start this recipe, we're using olive oil. It's an Italian recipe, so always use the oil that goes with the recipe. So olive oil it is. Remove the lid. We're gonna make everything in the Instant Pot. So we're gonna start with probably, I would say, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So coat the bottom. This recipe calls for 1 white onion. I really prefer the taste of white onions in recipes like this. There's just something about their flavor. Okay, now we're gonna cut up 1 large red pepper. Whenever I'm cutting a red pepper, I always cut the bottom first, then the top, and then I use my knife and I go all the way around like this. And then the inside will just pop right out, and then you don't have to worry about the seeds. See? All done. This recipe calls for 3 cloves of fresh garlic. So I always like to use my fabulous Pampered Chef garlic crusher. So you take a clove, you really don't even have to peel it, but it's kind of better if you do. And I just knock the ends off, both ends of the clove. And then you can put the cloves right in here, put it down, and crush it, and put it right in with the onions and the red pepper. It's perfect. So this is a big family meal, so I like to use both lean ground beef and I also like to use ground pork. I find that the 2 flavors together give a really kind of traditional taste to this Italian meal, and I like the taste of ground pork. So we're gonna put it right in the Instant Pot, and this is on the saute feature, which is perfect. You can start everything and cook everything all in one place. So we'll add the pork and we will add the ground beef to the Instant Pot. And we already have our onions, red peppers, and garlic already sauteed. This recipe calls for thyme, 3 bay leaves, and basil. Now most people have dried thyme and basil. I happen to have fresh thyme and fresh basil and dried bay leaves. It's not a big deal. But I want to show you really quickly a super fast way to cut some fresh basil leaves like this. So you're going to pinch them at the bottom, and then I'm going to use 3 big ones. And then you're going to put them all together, lay them one on top of the other, and you're going to roll them up nice and tight like this. Use your knife, split it through the middle, and then finely dice the leaves. And then you will have very, very easy, sliced up, diced up, fresh, beautiful basil leaves. So the recipe calls for a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and that's great. Everybody has that in their pantry. I happen to have some fresh tomatoes on hand, so I've just diced these up. There's about 6 or 7 Roma tomatoes here. It doesn't really matter what kind of tomatoes. You just dice them up like this and add them in. Now remember, we're still on the saute feature here. We're doing everything in one pot, so this is what makes it so perfect. So the reason this is called baked ziti is because ziti is a kind of pasta. It's kind of a long, round noodle, but rigatoni is basically the same thing. Little shorter, little fatter. But this big family size pasta, I'm going to use about half of it. I'm a little guilty for eyeballing things. I should probably be a little bit more accurate, but honestly, I just kind of like dump it in. That's about half. This recipe is really family friendly and super easy. I want you to use your own jar of pasta sauce that you have on hand. You must have one in the pantry. I use this one in a can, garlic and herb, Pretty simple. We're just gonna dump it in and add it to the sauce. So now we need to add some water to this dish because the pasta is dry, and I'm going to add some to the can that we just used with the pasta sauce. Fill it up here, and then I'm just gonna bring it over and I'm gonna pour it in. Now that the water's been added and it's just covering the top, you're gonna have a little taste of the sauce to see if you need to add some salt and some pepper. Yep, it's a little bland because the water watered it down. So we're gonna use some kosher salt. I've got a large pinch here, which is probably about a teaspoon, maybe a little pinch more. And some fresh ground pepper. Again, probably about a teaspoon. Mix that up, and then after it's done cooking, you can add a little bit more if you need to. So now it's time to put the lid on, and we're gonna set it to manual cook, so under pressure for about 6 to 8 minutes. And that's the beauty of the Instant Pot. It doesn't take very long. It takes a little while to get to pressure, but once it's there, it doesn't take long at all to cook. Okay, so if you have an Instant Pot in your house, I want you to get it out. I want you to use it. Don't be afraid. I know lots of people are, but they're really, really fun to use and they're safe. So this is done cooking, and now what we're going to do, and this is the scariest part, we're going to vent it. And this is what you have to do. You have to let the pressure out of the pot. And the way that you do that is you turn the valve at the top and it releases all the steam. Okay, we're gonna do this. It's the most exciting part. So it's done venting. The little red button in the bottom and the back has dropped down, and now it's safe to open. And there it is. It's gorgeous and perfectly cooked. And now it's time to add delicious cheese. So we are using fresh Parmesan cheese, and we are also using fresh mozzarella. And that's what gives it that beautiful, stringy, delicious taste when it's all done. So we have beautiful fresh mozzarella in these nice, gorgeous chunks, and we're just gonna add them in and mix them in. I'll use half of the block of the fresh mozzarella and about half of this bowl, which is about a cup of Parmesan cheese. So now it's time to eat. The fresh mozzarella gives you that really stringy, delicious cheese taste. And of course, the pasta's perfectly cooked at 7 minutes. Put a little bun on the side, make a Caesar salad, and there's your dinner. It's all set. Now it's time to have a bite. Oh my gosh. Dan, we miss you. It's your favorite dinner. You should make baked ziti. It's really good.